Hello everyone. In this course, we are going to learn how to make an environment in Unreal Engine 5 with the help of PCG, Procedural Content Generation. This is a very beginner-friendly tutorial. If you're new to Unreal Engine 5, then we are good to go. So without any further delay, let's get started. So let me play this animation first. Now we are going to make this environment in Unreal Engine 5 with the help of PCG, and also we are going to make this animation in this Unreal Engine 5. So first thing first, we need to open our Unreal Engine 5, and let me do this thing. Now we are going into the game sections and create a blend project in it. Like you have to go into this tab game and select this one, blend, and you have to select project location wherever you want to save it. Like go to this tab and select your favorite folder. And after that, here you can give it any name to your project, like whatever you want. And here are blueprints and C++. So we are going to use only blueprints. We are not going to use C++. So select that one. And there's a target platform. We are going to set this desktop and quality persist maximum. And we are done. Now let me go with the create, and it will take a while, I guess. So here we are. Now half of the things we need in our project are already by default are present in this environment in our blend project. So what do I need to do? First thing is change my camera SP. So if you're new to Unreal Engine 5, then I probably guess you don't know how to move in Unreal Engine 5. Then I'm going to tell you these basics of Unreal Engine 5. So if you press W on your keyboard and right click on your mouse, or hold your right click on your mouse and press W or hold W, then if you hold both of the keys, W press right click on your mouse, then you are able to move. Now you can see we can move a little more slower than we should. So here we are. We need to first increase the speed of our camera. So you just have to go into this tab and increase it. Like I want to do it like 8. And if you again hold both of the keys, as I told you, W plus right click on your mouse, hold it. And then you are able to see we can move it a little more faster. Now this is here we are in the middle of our environment. So this is a basically environment, you can say it, where we are. So if you hold W and right click, you can move forward. If you hold S and right click, you can bed forward, backward towards backward. And if you hold D and right click, you can go aside forward. And if you hold A and you can go to this side like. And these are game keys like WASG. If you play any video player or video game, you probably know this thing very well. So we are not going to learn of everything in Unreal Engine 5, like every basic thing, but I will try to tell you as much as I can. So our main motive in this course is to make an environment with the help of PCG. So now let me give you a little bit intro of Unreal Engine 5. This is called viewport where we are in, where this environment is built. This is called viewport. And in this section, you're able to see this is called outliner, where all the materials, meshes, or anything that is present in our viewport, the details of that thing will be present here. If you like select light and press F on your keyboard, like I can't focus it because it is a folder, not a mesh or anything. So if you go to the directional light and you are able to see this is a mesh we have, and if you press F, you will focus on this thing. So everything present in a viewport, the details of that thing or object or mesh will be in our outliner, as it word says outliner overview of that thing. Now after that, this is called by default details. If you select anything in your viewport, you will able to see details of that thing here. Like I am constantly saying that thing because you are new to Unreal Engine 5 and you maybe don't know what is mesh called or what is other things. That is why. So if you select anything here like starlight address, what is starlight is basically this one. And let me go with player start. If I select this, what is player start? Let me tell you first. A player start is simply a what can I say? A node from which position your player will go around, this type of thing. And if you select this, you are able to see different type of rotation, different type of details in your details panel. Like this is a transform, you can adjust the rotation of this thing. And if I like move this here and here, you're able to see this is moving. Like if I go with this and this thing is moving. Like let me go with the default 0. Yeah, but let me do it like this. You can adjust it as much as you can, and you can play with these settings. So there are a bunch of other things. So the main motive of this thing is give you details of that thing. These are detail panels. After this is the world setting where you can adjust the settings of a world like default things. In the world section of world setting, in this section, some of the things are really important to know when you are about to create a game. So this is a very important section. After that, what should I tell you? Yeah, these are the things you should know about. This is a transform tool. We are not going to use it as much as we can, but this is a little review. From this, if you press this T, then you can remove any mesh or anything in the y-axis, x-axis, or z-axis, whatever you want. And after that, there's a rotate object. If you want to rotate anything, then you can draw with select this T and rotate anything like this. And here we are with the scale object. If you select this, you are able to scale it in any direction as you want it. So this is called a lateral space or like world space or local space. And this thing will help you to move in a specific direction. If you want change the position of the axis, like if you are on the y-axis and you want to move it on the z-axis, then you can change the world to local and local to world to opposite the directions like that one. I don't know if you are understanding every bit of our course, but if you're new to Unreal Engine 5, when I was learning it very first time, it was a very scary thing to me because I was very naive in this thing. So you don't have to worry about this thing. This thing will help you, or you will understand it a little bit faster after a while. Now, after that, these are the things. Snap size, like if you want to move any object in any direction, then you can snap the size so that particular object will be moved to 10 axis. Like if I want to move it on the y axis, this object, then it will be like this. But if I want to move it like 50, then it will move 50 inches, I guess. Yeah, 50 inches. It will move after 50 inches, and then it will move after 50 inches. It won't be on the consistent moving towards y. This is snap size. I mostly disable this thing, but you can play with this thing if you want to. And this is a perspective. Like if you want to see from top view, then you can go and select this thing. And bottom, basically, if you are scared by this thing, then you shouldn't be, because we are in the wireframe. We can go and change the view of it. We will be in the normal view. So from orthographic view, you can change the view of how you want to look it. And yeah, almost we are done with this thing. Now let's move to our course. Now we just have to go to this window tab, and then we have to go to this fab. If you are new to fab, then it might ask you for sign in. So just sign in first, then this thumbnail will appear here. Fab, what is Fab? Fab is basically a website where you can find ready-made assets, materials, textures, and many more things. Fab works exactly same as Sketchfab. If you know how Blender works, then you probably know how what is Sketchfab is for. So Fab works same as Sketchfab, I guess. And now we can find any ready-made assets from here. So for our course, we want leaves, trees, stones, and some of the other things that are ready-made that we are going to download it from here, and we are going to use it in our Region 5. And let me write here, temperate vegetation foliage collection. Temperate vegetation foliage collection. Now you are able to see different type of foliage collection. Now I am going to select this one. If you want any other trees, you can draw with that. I want to use this one, but you can draw with this one too. There are different type of leaves, flowers you want, so you can draw with any one of this. The process is almost same. So now I want to draw with this one, and then you have to select this add to project. Now if you select this, this will appear asset not compatible. So you have to select the latest version of it, like 5.4, and select this add to project. Now assets are downloading and it will take a while it is to completely download it in our Unreal Engine 5 project. So let's wait for it. Here we are. Here we are done with our first mesh. And now we are moving to our second collection. And now I am going to write here like temperate spruce forest. Spruce forest. Let me select this thing to free. I am going to use this one. You can use any other one. It's depend on you, but I will go with this thing. Basically, the process is almost same with all other collections of trees. If you want to use any other specific trees, then you can go for that. But now I am again going to press this add to project. And here we are going to select latest version of it, like 5.4 also, and then go with add to project. Then it will take a while also, I guess. So let's wait for it and continue our lecture until it's completed. Now here we are. Our collection of trees are completely downloaded. Now what do we need to do? Now we have to come back to our Unreal Engine 5 and let me process. Now here we are. If you press Control and space bar key on your keyboard, then here you are able to see PN foliage collection. And if you go inside this tab and go into this mesh, and then here you are able to see grass mesh, static mesh here. Now we will use this mesh in PCG when we will make a blueprint of it. Now here are different type of static mesh we have, like plant of a flower, and also we have spruce forest. And if you go into this mesh, and then there are different type of trees, we have small, half full, any one of it we can use it. Now before anything, let me go to this content, and here I'm going to make a new folder like here, and then give it a name like PCG forest. Here we are. Now if you go inside this thing, and if you right click on your mouse, and then here you are able to see different type of things like animation, artificial intelligence, and many other things. But here we are not able to see any PCG word. That is called procedural content generation. Now you have to go into this edit tab and then go into plugins. And here we are going to search for PCG. And this is procedural content generation framework. Now we are going to check this on, and yes. And now it will ask you to restart your Unreal Engine 5. And I am going to restart it now. It will take a while to restart. So now if you go and search Unreal PCG, then you can check this. This is on, and let me close this in. And after I press Control Space bar to open up, this is called Content Iris. And here we are in PCG Forest as we made it a new folder. And if you right click on your mouse again, and then here you are able to see a PCG. This option will not be visible if you're not going to enable your plugin. That is called PCG, Procedural Content Generation. And if you enable that plugin PCG, then you are going to be able to see this PCG. And here we are going with the PCG graph and create empty graph. And I'm going to rename this thing also PCG Forest Terrace. Yeah. Now we have to go inside this thing, and this is a view of it inside. So now let me drag this both inputs to like upper parts. How you can drag this thing? Hold in your left click on your mouse, then you can drag, and hold in your left click, and you can like mirror square or something to select both of the things and drag it together. Now here we are going to right click on your mouse to add a node. How you can add a node in blueprints? Like you have to right click on your mouse here, and then search for date landscape data. Here we are. After adding this node, we are going to add one more node. Connect this node to the surface sampler. Now we are going to see some sampler particles or some sample particles of our PCG. But before that, right click on this, select this first, and then right click on your mouse and then check this on debug. And now let me put it here and let me press Control spacebar and then select this thing like here. But let me move it like this. Now you are able to see we can view sample mesh here. But here you are also able to see it the position or the scale of these cubes are very uniform. But we do not want uniform scale because it doesn't look like a real or realistic thing. So now we are going to add another node here to change the uniform scale. For that one, we are going to use transform point. And now, if you select this node, you can see the details of here. As I mentioned earlier, if you select anything in your details panel, you will able to see the details of it. Now here you can see different type of details like rotation min, rotation max, scale min, scale max. So I am going to play with this thing like scale to like 1.5 iris and then scale 1 to like 3 iris. Now I am going to select this node and right click on my mouse to unplug debug. And then I'm going to set this and enable the debug. And now let me see here. Here you're able to see the difference. Now we have not a uniform scale of it. Like we have different type of cubes in our viewport, and also we can increase or decrease the size of it, like how much we want or how much we need. So you can again go to this PCG forest, select this, and then like it's like 0.1, and we can like make like complete one, and then see. Now you are able to see we had very few cubes in our viewport, but now it runs into a whole new meshes, like a different type of shape it is. It is the same as cubes we have, but there are many cubes, so that's why the texture is a little bit messed up. And now we have to add one another node with this transform point where we will grade our static mesh, like which one we downloaded earlier from Fab website. For that thing, we are going to add another node which is called static mesh spawner. This node will help us to grade our static mesh and then add to our viewport like this. Now I'm going to select this one and then go here. Here you are able to see mesh entries and then press this plus icon to add an entry and go into this index and then go into that descriptor, and then you are able to see the stack mesh here. So now press Ctrl and spacebar, and then now I'm going to go to this foliage collection, go into the meshes, and then I would like to go with the grass mesh, and I'm going to see it first how this is looking like. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. Let me review some of the other meshes too. Yeah, this one looking a lot more nicer than before. But now I'm going to select this mesh and then drag it with my holding my left click on my mouse and then drop it here. Now I hope so we are able to see a static mesh in our viewport, but we are unable to see that. So for that, I'm going to do one more thing. Let's select this and delete this one. And then again, we have to go to this PCG forest and then we have to drag this PCG graph. Still, we are unable to see that thing. So for that thing, I'm going to select this and uncheck this debug, and then now we are able to see in our viewport. Now, what do we need to do here? We are able to see we want to scale it a little bit more to give it a realistic look. Now go to the PCG forest once again, and then go to the transform point, and then go with like 3 arrays, and then select this like 5. Then you are able to see we have much realistic looks than we should have like this. But one more thing I'm going to tell you about, go and select the surface sampler, and then here you can increase the point light. I'm going with the 15, and then there's a difference. This the mesh will be a dense, so it is a personal priority or personal preferences. It's depend on you the look you wanted. So I'm going to draw this transform point and like draw with like 4, 3, and 4, and yeah, I guess I'm done with this thing. And after that, we are moving for flower mesh. Now I want to add a flower mesh in our viewport. For that one, we can add that mesh into this and merge both grass and flower mesh. But if I do that thing, then we are unable to change the scale of our flowers. So I am going to add a separate mesh for flowers. But if you hold your left mouse, click on your mouse, and then select these three nodes and press C on your keyboard, then it will be like comment. And I'm going to like grass, and then like draw it like this. I'm going to select all of these three nodes again and press Ctrl D on your mouse, sorry, on your keyboard to duplicate it like this. And then go to the state mesh, go to this entry, go to this indents, and then go into the descriptor, and then change here the state mesh. For that, I'm going to press Ctrl and spacebar on my keyboard, then go into the foliage, meshes, flower mesh. And I'm going to view different type of flowers here, like this one. Yeah, this is looking fine to me, I guess. You can go with any other. Let me see this one. Yeah, first one was good, I guess. So let me select this one and then drop it here, and then turn it this, get landscape data to a surface sample. And now you are able to see in our viewport, we have flowers. But I want to decrease the scale of our flower. But before that, see how it's looking like. It's good iris. So let me select this transform point and then go with like 1.5 to like 2.5 iris. Yeah, it's still a lot more, but let me go with surface sampler and then decrease it like to 5, and then like go with the, sorry, but I set it here like scale min to like 3 and scale mix to like 2.5, but I'm going want to go with like 1.5 to scale min and like 2 with scale max. Yeah, it's still not good as we wanted. Like go with 1 or like 1.4 iris. Yeah, now it's good to go iris. But let me increase surface sampler. Like it's a very plain process. You have to set a value, you have to see how your environment is looking like, and then you have to again set it like different thing. Yeah, it's a very dreading process. Yeah, I guess this is looking fine, but I want to decrease it to like 4 iris. Yeah, it's looking fine, but let me increase the scale of our grass like iris 5 and then go with like 4 iris. Yeah, it's looking nice now. Yeah, this is a way. Like there's a no any way you are going to make it a perfect environment, but you have to be consistent with this. You have to change the values, change the scale min or change the scale max however you want, so you don't know how the perfect you want it will be like. You have to play with those values. Once it will give you the right, and after that, what do we need to do is simple as that. And now select these are three nodes and then press C on your keyboard to go with flower. So now we are almost done with our grass and flower. So let me see how our view environment is looking like. Yeah, it's given the realistic look, but still we can tweak it in later iris. So, but for now we are done with this. Later we will tweak these things if there's any need. So now I'm going to add leaves in our viewport. For that, I'm going to just move it a little bit here to make a space for our leaves. And then going to do the same process, like duplicate these things. And then go to the static mesh, go to this mesh entries, and that's descriptor. And here we are. Now I'm going to drop my like foliage and go into this meshes and go into this ground plant mesh. And here I'm going to view some of the leaves here, like Let me see this one. Let me see another one. Yeah, this one looking nice, I guess. You can select any other if you want to. If it's not looking fine to you, you can go and check any other, but for me it's fine to me. And then I'm going to select this one and drop it here, and I'm going to connect this with data landscape data to our surface sample. Here we are. Now I'm going to see in our viewport our round plant mesh is added, but the scale of it is very, very large, I guess. So I'm going to adjust it, go into the transform points, go into like 2 and then like 2.5, and let's see it. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. But we can increase it to like 3, I guess, to make it a visible. Yeah, but 2.5 is like okay. 2.3 is a little more scalable, and it's not looking like a perfect, I guess. And let me go with 2.5, and let's see. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. We can later on increase the seeds of these flowers, but for now it's okay. Now we are going to just select all these and press C again, and then add a name like here, like what can I say, leaves. And here we are almost done with our grass, leaves, and flower. You can adjust your values differently. I'm just telling you how to make an environment with the help of PCG. And there's another way to make an environment with foliage. We will also learn that in learn that thing in our coming lectures. But you can play with those values, and it's perfectly fine if you want something different. And now what we are going to do is to add our little trees in our mesh, like in our environment. For that, I'm going to duplicate this one, like select all, and then duplicate this thing, and then move it a little bit. Here we are going to do the same process, like go to the static mesh, go into this meshing tree, and that's disruptor, and drop that free static mesh. But I'm also going to teach you one more thing, like which type of trees we are going to add, like small, half full. I will draw with full at first. Like you can draw with high poly. I'm drawing with high poly. I guess. Let me see which one is look good in our environment. That is, this is fine. Go to the PCG and then drop it here, like a static mesh. And one more thing I want to tell you here, keep saving your project, because sometimes Unreal crashes if your system requirements are not, if you don't not good as it can be, if you don't have a nice GPU installed in your laptop or PC, whatever you are using. So keep try to save it again and again as much as you can. Save all, how you can save your project, like press Control and Spacebar and go with save all and then save selected, and here we are. Now we have to make sure transform points should be like 0.04 to 0.5, because our tree's length is already a little bigger. And also make sure go into the surface sampler and make it like 0.1. Why I did that thing, like flowers we are going with 4 points, but for our trees we are going with 0.1, because Unreal can be trash if we made it like 4. So we are trying to reduce this value as much as we can. So we are going with 0.01, and then I'm going to turn it this one. I hope Unreal won't crash here. Here we are. Trees are added in our viewport. But as you can see, there's a huge a lot of trees here. So now we are going to reduce it. I size is okay, but as you can see, my system is let's. So I'm going to like decrease the size of like 0.01, I guess. Yeah, like this. I'm going to increase it like to 5. Yeah, this one is nice, I guess, but still we can decrease it to the value like 0.03 or 0.2. Like I want to go 0.3, and yeah, for now it's perfectly fine. Later on we will increase the size. And now I am going to like 0 point, make it like 0.03 and 0.4 iris. Yeah, this is a nice iris. 0.5 was okay iris, but 0.3 is not that bad. We should go with this and also do the same thing, select all. Sorry, select all and then press C, and then go with trees light. And we are almost done with these things. So now we have to add a variation, like we have to add variety of other class state mesh with this one, this one. So now we are going to this state mesh, and here we are going to add another entry, and you just have to go to this add button, add, and then go to this setting index and go descriptor, and here we are going to drop our setting state mesh of our RAS for the foliage meshes, RAS mesh, and let me see this one. Yeah, this is looking fine, I guess. So now I'm going to this add this RAS, and here you are able to see there's a different look of it, but the scale of it is very larger. So I'm going to like go to this one and then go to like two iris and then one, but we can't add this one iris. I messed up here, so I'm going to like same values 4 and then go with like 5, but here let me delete this one. This is a long grass, so that's why I can't go with this one. Let me delete this one, and we are good to go as we were. So now I'm going to duplicate this one. Oh, I can add any other, like go to this, add another, and then let me see any other grass. I'm going to add that one, but for that I'm going to duplicate these values and go to this tag mesh and then change this grass to that one, but also go into the transform points and make it like 2 and 3, and then we are going to connect this one too. Sorry, but still it's little more bigger, so I'm going to reduce it like 1 2. Yeah, it's fine it is now, but this is a problem with us. 2.5. Yeah, this is nice, but the middle of this part is somewhere hidden, so I don't know why this didn't happen to us out of nowhere. So I'm going to delete this entry. Yeah, one more thing we have not seen, like low trust. Yeah, it's fine it is. As we deleted that entry, it's almost fine it is. Yeah, it's really nice it is. We can adjust it, like decrease the scale of our second class like 1.5. As we are decreasing, our grass is like going not to be dense anymore. So I will go with this thing. Like, yeah, yeah, it's looking nice, I guess. But let me go decrease the surface sampler to like 5 or even like 3, even more. 2 iris. Add in variety of grass mesh. You can add another variety of flowers, like. But I want to go to this slide. But before that, I'm going to like select this one and press C, and then add like grass stew, and select these both and make a space here, right here. Right, I'm going to select the flower state mesh, and here we are going to this mesh increase descriptor and add an other point here, add in a static mesh light for flowers, go into the foliage collection, meshes, flower meshes. Like I want to add red roses. They are white too, I guess. I'm going with this thing. Like white are my personal favorite. So let me add this one. And here you are able to see, we are unable to see the white roses because the size of these roses are very, very smaller. So I am going to increase it. Going it with like 2 and match should be like 4. It's little more, I guess, like go with 3. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, I guess. And then go to this like 3, I guess. Yeah, it's fine. Now we are able to see white roses as well. This one, like purple. Let me go with like 2.5. The good or bad thing about this, we if we are going to add in separate, like we if we are going to make a separate nodes for every leaves or flowers, then we are able to adjust the scale of it, like how much length we wanted, how much rotation of it. But if we are going to merge two different meshes in one, then we are unable to do that thing. So that's a very bad thing, I guess. But sometimes it's fine, to be honest. So we are almost done. And one more thing I'm going to tell you, if we increase the camera speed to like 8 and then go out, now you are able to see the forest we have is like this size of this scale. But here we have other environment. And now I'm going to delete all of it. So it won't use my GPU anymore like this. So let me like go very on the upper part and let me go to this selection mode and then go to the landscape, go to this manage and delete. Now here you can increase the brush size, like I want like 5 here, and then I'm going to delete this forest. But one more thing I want to do to increase the forest of PCG, scale it a little bit. I will do that thing. So let me undo this. Let me decrease the brush size like to 1. Yeah, here we are. Now I'm going to this selection mode again and go down to this forest, and then let me select this and then move it like here, and I am going to scale it a little bit, like go to this scale mode and then like this one. Yeah, this one is fine, I guess. And I am going to like this, and let me see, is it on the middle of the center or yeah, like this. Now let me go and zoom in our environment, how it's looking like. Yeah, it is fine, I guess. It is not that smaller anymore. Yeah, it's looking nice, I guess. Now we can change the directional light here. Select this directional light and press Ctrl and L on your. Wait, I don't want to press Ctrl N. I'm going to just select this light and then go to the little rotate key, and here we have our directional light, and I am going to like move it on the Z axis like this. Now let me see it, how it's looking like. Yeah, it's more brighter now. Yeah, it's fine. We can adjust our direction light a little bit later. For now, it's fine. Now, this is a very simple process. As I told you, how to make an environment with the help of PCG, right? How you can add trees in your environment, how you can add a variety of grass, leaves, flowers, right? Each, every little thing. Now we are almost done with our environment. Now we just have to adjust the values of it, and let's see how it's perfectly looking like nice. And then we will move to our animation and how to make that one. So now we have to tweak the little things, like I want to increase the size scale of our trees, like making making a little bit more, like 3.5 to 3.7, I guess. That's a lot more. I'm going to select once again and play with these values like 5 and go with like 4. Yeah, it's nice, I guess. Yeah, it's nice. But and I am also going to increase the seeds of our grass. Go to this, increase to like 20 arrays. Yeah, here we are. Now you are able to see our computer is lagging a little bit as we added a lot more. Now I guess it's fine to me. And let me save our project here. My main purpose of making this video to teach you how to make an environment with the help of PCG, but it's up to you how you want, how perfectness you want in your environment. You have to play, drag and drop your state mesh and see which is really nice to you. It's totally depend on you, and I want you to do that process by your own. So now we are heading towards to make an animation. So I just save it, and then let me add in camera. For making an animation, we need a camera to view it from. For that thing, I'm going to this plus window bar, and you can also add different type of lights from here, like directional, point, spot, react, and starlight, anyone you wanted. And then you also can add like character or shapes. Bro, I will teach you these things in another video, but for now, I'm going to just write it here, sign camera editor, and then edit it in our viewport. Now, as I told you how to edit in Cambria, this is our Cambria is edited in our viewport, and the view from it is like here. So with this thing, we also need an add level sequence, and then go to this tab, add level sequence, and we will save it to the content, and we'll write it here like PCG level. Let me go to like L to S level sequence, and then go with like this. And I'm going to select it. Here is our level sequence where we will animate our scene, and I'm going to select this our camera and then drop it here like this is the view we are seeing from our camera. Now you are able to see this is like a blur to from our camera. Then we'll make little tweaks so it won't be that longer. So now what do we need to do is just select any view. So I'm going to play my animation, which is our first look. Yeah, this is our first look. I want to edit from here viewport. So I am going to select a right position where I wanted to set my position, like from this side, like I want to go to this like here. But also we are going to one more thing. Let me and drop it down. Like I'm going to the Feb market, and then I'm going to download a form. What can I say? Floor material. I'm going to like write down here forest and make it like price on free. I'm going to download a forest flow to edit on the flow. So with that thing, our environment will give a realistic load. So I'm going to add this one, add to project, and I guess it will take a little while to download. Let it download first. So it's done now. Now I'm going to select my landscape, like this one, and go to this like details properties and go a little down. Yeah, now I'm going to select this landscape, and here you are able to see in details panel landscape material. So now we are going to like add this material to our landscape. this material is added to this one, but it's not applicable on this one. So I'm going to do one more thing, and that is going to select this one and then also drop same material here. Yeah, it's nice now. Now you are seeing this is not given the realistic look. So I'm going to search it here and then go into this material insistence, and then I'm going to like global, go to the styling and then like made it like 0.4, and then bro, here you are able to see it's given a little more realistic look. Also I'm going to do one more thing, and that is like now we have to like go to this normal, and then we are going to enable this normal intensity and then drop it a little bit, and let me see my viewport. And now I'm going to increase it a little bit like 2.29. Yeah, like this. Let me make a value of light. Let me increase it also 5. Let me see. Yeah, it is given realistic look. When we are going to increase the value of it, like I'm going to make it like 7 areas. Yeah, it's nice. Oh, made it like 12. Yeah, it's perfectly fine for me. Now it is given a realistic look. So now what we are going to do is find a place like here, and yeah, this thing will give a nice look. So let me find a place like here, somewhere here, and let me select my direction light, and like you can like go and rotate this one if this is working for you. You have to change the position of it like this. It will be a lot more brighter like this. You have to play with this. Yeah, it's looking nice, I guess. But let me change the view of it like this one. Yeah, this way. Yeah, it's looking nice. Now let me move it a little bit more like this. Yeah, now it's fine, I guess. Let me adjust the position of it like somewhere. Like you can play with your lightning as much as you can. There's no any rule you should follow me like, but yeah, it's depend on you how you want to set up the lightning processing. I just wanted to give you little review of it, like how to make tweaks in your lightning system and how to give your scene a realistic look. So I'm not going to make it perfect. You have to do it by your own. Sorry, I somewhere selected this one, and let me, yeah, I guess this is nice. Now let me press Ctrl and spacebar, and then let's select this level sequence which I saved it here, and let me draw. Like let me increase this thing and view from my camera, and yeah, this thing is coming up like blur. But now let me go to this like this one. Yeah, this look is perfectly fine for me. Now what will I do is that you just have to draw and then play with like this. I'm going to like make it like 4, I guess, and then also change the value of it. Let me draw like beyond, made it like 6, I guess, and then change the value of it to like, why should I make it like 1000, I guess, or like you have to play with these type of levels. You have to play with this value like let made it like 8, and then like a little bit zoom in, and you have to play with this manual focal length to decrease the blur of our scene. Let me go to this tab, and yeah, here we are, our blur is completely over for now. Yeah, now let me decrease it like turn departure to like 5 iris. Yeah, it's fine iris or made it like even 4. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Now what do we need to is just make sure our view from our camera is perfectly fine, and then I am going to add this transform keyframe here, and let me go change this 30 fps to like show time a second, and then I'm going to move it like to 5 or like 3 iris. And now what I'm going to do is just change the camera speed to like 0 or to 1 like, yeah, 0.01, and then change the view of it like this. Now let me again go to the 3 seconds and then add another keyframe here, and after that you can see the look of it. You can select these both keyframes and right click on your mouse. Let me select again these keyframes and right click, sorry, and go with the linear. And now let me see. Yeah, it's perfectly fine, but we have messed up a little bit with our lighting. So what I am going to do is just select the directional light, and now I am going to press Control and Control L to change the lighting of it like as we wanted it. Yeah, you can like hold Control L and see which thing is looking nice, and you can go with that. Like I am trading and drop, yeah, which view will perfectly fine for me. Yeah, this one Iris. Yeah, it's looking fine to me. Yeah, this view is looking fine to me. Now our first our first shot is completely done here, and now we are going to move to our second shot, and that will be like from 3 point. I am going to leave 1 second gap here, and after that we are also going to increase this timeline to like 20 arrays, and then we are going to increase it to, here we are. I'm going to make it like 20, and now I am going to leave a gap of 1 second, and here I am going to add another keyframe. But before that, let me adjust a view of it where I wanted a second shot. But let me see my second shot, and which is that one. And yeah, this is my second shot, like viewing from the leaves. So what I'm going to do that, let me go, let me increase my camera speed from here, and decrease my photo length to like 3.5 iris, and go to this like frame 0.4. Yeah, this is a perfectly fine place for me, and I'm going to like add an keyframe here with this, and then I'm going to like frame 7, second 7, and then select like 0.1 speed, and then I'm moving towards like this, backward like this. Sorry, I messed it up here. Yeah, like this, and the perfect view address. And I am again going to make another keyframe here, and now you are going to see from 4 seconds, and let me play this animation. Yeah, this is a perfectly fine animation. I just need to do one thing, and let me select these both keyframe, and let me check if the keyframe are selected for linear or not. Yeah, it's a linear. So now we are moving to our third shot, and let me see which is third shot. Yeah, this one. And for this shot I am going to like go to like 8 seconds, and then let me change the view of it like, and also increase the speed of it like 1. Yeah, from here, like this, from here we are going to, yeah, we are going to do this thing. But let me increase my camera speed to view it perfectly fine. Yeah, this look is fine, I guess. Yeah, from this angle. Yeah, this look is perfectly fine from this angle. And let me add a keyframe from here. And after that, move to like 12 seconds. And then camera speed should be like this. And then, sorry, let me go to this frame 8 and then let me go to the frame 12 and again make animation like this. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. We are here and then add a keyframe here and go and view the animation. This is the way we are going to make an animation. Like, let me see it from a bigger picture. Yeah, it's nice it is, but still we can adjust it a little bit. Like, go to the frame 8 and let me go to this view and let me do to this thing. Yeah, I'm going to add a keyframe here. Yeah, it's really nice it is. Yeah, it's really nice it is. So now we are going to increase the second of this our animation light. Increase it to light as like let it like 15. Yeah, from 11 to 15 arrays 4 seconds, and I'm going to make this animation to like 10. Let me go with like this 0.5 10.5, and also let me go with 9.5 arrays somewhere here, and let me do like 5.5, and this one to 4. Yeah, our first shot will be like this, and this will be our second shot, and this will be our third shot. And after that we are moving for fourth shot, and let me go to add a keyframe here, but let me see my fourth shot. Yeah, this one, and let me go somewhere like this. Let me increase my speed of like 1, and let me go somewhere like this. Yeah, like this, and then add a keyframe here and go to the like last frame and then increase it like here. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Then add a keyframe again. So now I'm going to play an animation from the start, and let's see how is it looking like. So now we are almost done with our animation. If you have to make little changes, then you can go with that. It depends on you. How do you want your project look like? How do you want your environment look like? It's depend on you. So now we are almost done with our animation. Now we just have to render this animation and import that animation in Blender, and yeah, we are done. So now I will tell you how to import this animation in image sequences, like in image format. So for that one, you have to go to the slide from here and see if there is a render tree. Like for rendering this animation, we have to enable a plugin. Go to this edit and then go to this plugin, and then like movie render tree, and we have to enable this plugin. Sorry, I guess we have to enable this plugin. So let me enable this one, and it will ask for restart, and you have to restart. Save selected. It will take a while to restart our project. Here we are. Now let me press Ctrl and spacebar, and then let me go to this environment, and let me select this level sequence, and after that view from our camera, and then go to this. And right now you're able to see it's written here movie render tree. And after that we are going to select this one, and then go to this unsaved configuration. And after that, what do we need to do? Just simple thing. We have to use custom frame rates, and I'm going with like 30 FPS. And from here you have to go and select the output directory. From here you have to select an folder where you want to save the images of this animation. And after that you have to go and check this on and select 30 FPS, and almost we are done. There's nothing any other thing. So after that, select the accept, and then we are going with render local. Now this thing will take a while to render, so wait for it. So here we are. Now our render images are completely done. So let me click this, and now we have to go into a folder where we save the images of our animation. So here we are. Now we have all the images of our animation. Now what we are going to do is just simple thing.